So we're starting here in the Sichas of Parshas Vayetze, Sichas Chof. From Posig Vayishka B'Mokim Ahu. In the Posig in Parshas Vayetze, where it says that when Vayetze Yankem Be'eshova, he left Be'eshova, and it says Vayishka B'Mokim Ahu. On that place, he lay down to sleep. Take a Medrash. It says in Medrash, Kan Shochav. When it says Vayishka B'Mokim Ahu, he slept on that place. It's like telling us on that place he slept, as if saying someplace else he didn't sleep. So he says here he slept. All the 14 years that he was in the yeshiva of Aver, it's known as the yeshiva of Shem ve'Aver, but by that time Shem was not alive anymore, so Aver was the head. So when he learned in the yeshiva for 14 years, he didn't sleep, which means like this: after he left, he escaped from Yitzchak because he was running away from Esav. So he left Yitzchak's house. He didn't go right away to Choran. For 14 years he came to yeshiva to learn. After that he left Choran, and in Choran he stayed for 20 years. So the Medrash says like this: here he slept, but the 14 years that he learned in the yeshiva of Aver, he didn't go lay down to sleep. The Nochat Zweite Day, then there's another opinion. Kan Shochav, here he slept. All 20 years where he was in the house of Lavan, there he didn't sleep. The Estate, there's actually a posik that Yaakov Avinu said that my sleep was farvogelt. How do you say in English farvogelt? Disturbed. Yeah, but that's not a literal translation. Disturbed from my eyes. It means that all these years I worked for love and I didn't sleep. That's the Medrash. Weiter is a mamshich Medrash. Then the Medrash continues. What did he say? He wasn't sleeping. So what did he say? Rebbe Leib says Tesvav Shira Mailis Shebesefer Tilim. The 15 chapters prokim of Shira Mailis which you have in Tilim. My timing, what's the reason? Doesn't mean what's the reason. My time, where do we see that this is what he said? So the Medrash answers, because it says Shira Mailis LeDavid. David had this shir, and he said Lulei Hashem Shehoy Elonu Yema Yisrael. Yisrael is saying, if not for Hashem, that was for us, we wouldn't make it, we wouldn't survive. Who is the Yisrael that's saying this? So a simple pshat we taich Yisrael means the Yidden. But the Medrash taich Yisrael Sava, the Zayde Yisrael, Yaakov Avinu. So the first opinion says that he said these 15 Shiramailis, and Shmuel Bar Nachman Omar.
Moshe also said this, no? Isn't it
Filamation.
But it's not the same ones?
The Shmuel Bar Nachman says, Kol Sefer Tilim Oyemer. He said the whole Tilim. Matam, where do we see a posik that teaches us that he said the whole Tilim? Because the posik says, Va'ata Kodesh Yeshiv Tehillas Yisrael. You holy ones, you sit on the praise, the Tehillas of Yisrael. Who's Yisrael? Same thing, Yisrael Sava. The old Yisrael means Yisrael, Yaakov Avinu. So the posik says that Yaakov Avinu said Tehillas. What's Tehillas? Tilim. Sefer Tilim. Which, by the way, is nothing to do with the Sicha. There is a kasha that some ask, why do we call it Tilim, not Tehillas? Really, the word Tehillah in singular in the Keva is feminine, so it should have been Tehillas. Okay, but Lepeil, this pasuk actually says Tehillas Yisrael. So from here we see, like the second opinion, that Yaakov Avinu said during those years that he was in the house of Lavan for 20 years, he said the whole Tilim. What? I don't know. It's first I'm talking about. It's not again to the Sikh. I just brought it out because here the pasuk says Tehillas, so I mentioned it. Now the pshat and the shaila maho yemer. When the Medrash asks, what did he say during those 20 years? Ken it sein, the Medrash doesn't mean to ask, with what was he occupied? What did he say? How was he busy in the house of Lavan? That's not a question. It says clearly in Postik, he worked to the sheep of Lavan with all his might. These, till he says, Bayim and Balayla, day and night, I didn't even sleep at night. So what's the question? What he did? What was he busy with? He was busy with watching the sheep of Lavan. Now the shaila is, what does the Medrash mean when it asks, what did he say during these 20 years? The question is, what did Yaakov daven or learn? What did he do? What did he say that gave him the strength, the power to overcome the hardships that he had in this place, Choran, which is a terrible place, and in the house of Lavan? And the Rebbe, if you see here in the parentheses, says, what did he do to daven or to learn? Because the answer is that he said Tilim, whichever way, the 15 chapters or the whole Tilim. What is Tilim? Davening or learning?
Both.
Tilim is both. Other things are not. Chumash is not davening. Chumash is learning. What's Tanakh, Yeshua? Learning. What's Gemara? Learning. Tilim happens to be something that's both. It's tefillah and Torah. So the Shaila was, what did he do? Meaning, what did he do? What did he daven? How did he daven? What did he learn during those years when he was in the house of Lavan in order not to be influenced by Lavan?
It's Torah Shabbat, no?
Yeah, so. Zayin dig bebeis Lavan, while he was in the house of Lavan, he was in a situation of Golus. He was in exile. And as a gegangen bebeis Yitzchok Aviv to Zayin bebeis Lavan, he left his house of his father Yitzchok, which was the best place he could be, and he went to Lavan. Lavan saying, with what was he busy there? With the sheep of Lavan. So it's all Lavan's things. You can imagine what kind of gedusha, I'm saying it in the opposite, was there. We see that being in the house of Lavan actually caused a descent in the spiritual level of Yaakov. Where do we see it? Rasha says, as Yaakov had gesagt, Yaakov said, right away when he came and he saw Rachel, what did he tell her? If he's going to come to cheat, I'm his brother, I could also cheat. Das heißt, it means, as by ihm is given keviyochel der inyan haramois bedukmas haramois the Lovan. He said, I have the concept of cheating like Lovan, and it's because of Lovan, he basically had to come on to this idea of cheating, which is a descent in the level of Yaakov, which was the complete opposite of cheating. We know it says by Yaakov ishtam. He's a very straightforward person. That means that being in the Lovan did cause him even a Yerida. So because of that comes up the question, so how did he survive? How did he manage to go through the hardships of the Golas being by Lovan? For sure there must be something spiritual that he did that gave him the strength to survive. And what could it be? Like it says, and it says when Yaakov came to get the brachas that it was supposed to be for Esav, so what did Yitzchak say? Hakel kel Yaakov, the voice sounds the voice of Yaakov, and Yadayim Yidei Esav, the hands are the hands of Esav. So the Chazal say that this is a remes to tell you, how do you get rid of the hands of Esav? With the voice of Yaakov. The voice of Yaakov means Torah, Tefillah. So for sure, in order to go against the influences of Lavan, it had to be something that is from the Kel Yaakov, something in Torah. So,
his harama started there by putting on Esav's father.
Okay. So for sure, what he did to manage in the Golos of Lavan definitely came from something which is in the voice of Yaakov. Which could be mevatel, could nullify the hands, the power of those that fight Yaakov and whatever Yaakov represents. Like the Chazal say that Yadayim, the Hakel Yaakov is mevatel, nullifies the Yadayim B'deis of the hands of Esav. He's the Shaila, so therefore the question is, what did he say? Why does the word say? Because what's mevatel, what nullifies the hardships? The voice of Yaakov, the saying of Yaakov. So the Medrash asks, what did he say? What were the things that he said that gave him the power to overcome Lavan? Of them and for the Medrash, and the Medrash answers, it was these 15 chapters of Shir Amailas in Tilim, or the Kos Sefer Tilim, or the other opinion, the whole Tilim. This gave him the strength, as he should be able to make through and survive the goals. Okay. So far, so good.
But David HaMelech katav that for you, no?
Yeah, but he knew it from before. David HaMelech just compiled it. He didn't write it. Some things he wrote. So Yaakov knew it already. He knew it already. Yeah, he knew the whole Torah. He knew everything. That's what we have to understand. According to the opinion that he said the whole Tilim is verstandig the Sichas von der Amire zu Yaakov. So we understand why Yaakov said that in der Zeit she'omer bebeis Lavan, when he was in the house of Lavan. Why did he do it? For him zayndik in a matzev, wo be Parshas hat he can't lernen Torah be'iyun. Since he was in a situation where he definitely couldn't sit and learn Torah be'iyun, means in depth, to go into the details of Torah. Certainly not with the same depth as he was while he was in the yeshiva of Eiver. So when you don't want a person, a Yid's supposed to learn. If a Yid doesn't have a chance to learn properly, so at least you say Tilim. So therefore, So he said the praises of Hashem. And what kind of tilim? What kind of praise? So since he wanted to learn, but he couldn't learn as good, so he said something which is a substitute to learning. The Chazal say a very interesting thing, that David HaMelech asked Hashem, prayed to him, that anybody who says tilim should get the reward as if he learned the deepest concepts in Torah. The Goyim and Oles are the two deepest Mishnayos that are. So when you say Tilim, you get the schar as if you learn the Goyim and Oles. So you can imagine if Yaakov Avinu didn't get a chance to learn so much when he was watching Tilov and he couldn't sit and learn Be'iyun. So he said Tilim, he said something else. But he wanted to pick which things should he say, things which will give him the reward as if he's learning. So obviously he said Tilim.
They always were Roitzon because they wanted to be
Dveikus,
free.
yes. Dveikus to Hashem. That's because of learning, not because of learning. Learning,
They don't learn?
not the same. You can't learn the same when you're busy.
They're not busy, because
No, they were busy with that same Lavan.
but this was called you should not be busy.
No, not so busy like you do in other things. Well, you can't learn Bachlal. Here, you can't learn Be'iyun, that's for sure. You can't learn Be'iyun when you're sitting and you have to watch something. So not, at least he says not Be'iyun as you could learn in the best situation.
You have to know what you're saying.
Huh?
So that's what you said.
No. Was ist aber die spezielle Scheiches von die Tesra Shiramayla Shebesefer Tilim zu sein Matzav Beis Lavan? But what's the connection, according to the other opinion, that what did he do, what did he say to give him the strength, was these 15 chapters of Tilim, the Shiramaylas. What's so special about these, or what's the connection between these and giving him the ability to fight the influences of Lavan? Wird man das verstehen, behagde, was the Chidor bringt, we'll understand this based first on mentioning what the Chidor writes. At the Tesvav Shiramaylas Omer David Olav Hasholem Keneged Tesvav Shonim Shechol Yehu Ovis Beyachad. That these 15 chapters are parallel to 15 years that all the Oves lived together. That means that Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yankov were together in this world for 15 years. And he makes the cheshbon. The Rebbe makes the cheshbon. For Avraham Avinu gelebt Meya Shana V'Shivim Shana V'Chomesh Shanim. Avraham Avinu lived 175 years. Yitzchak is born when Avraham is given by Meya Shana. Yitzchak was born when Avraham was 100. Yaakov is born when Yitzchak is given by Shishim Shana. Yaakov was born when Yitzchak was 60 years old. Kommt aus, als eine gewähnt Tesvav Shonim Shechoyu Ovis B'Yachad. Comes out that these 50 years, there were Tesvav Shonim, 15 years that they lived together. And these 15 chapters represent these 15 years where the Ovis lived together. So based on what the Chidor writes, this Inyan, you could say the Rebbe says, as Yaakov had gesagt, the test of Shiramayla Shebesefer Tilim, that the reason Yaakov said these 15 Shiramaylas of Tilim, in order to evoke the merit, the schus of Avraham and Yitzchak. Besides himself, who he is, the one that's involved, he wanted to also get a schus of Avraham and Yitzchak. Das heißt, that means like this. As Neis of seine eigene schus v'keiches. Besides his own merits and his own keiches, abilities. So, he also wanted to get the keach, the power of Avraham and Yitzchak. Was durch dem Dafke hat gekannt durchmachen die Schwierigkeiten mit Beis Lavan. And only because he had the keach and the schus of all three, himself and the other two, he was able to pass the Inyan in Lavan. The hat gesagt, as he himself said, Lule Elekei Avi, Elekei Avraham, Upachad Yitzchak Oili. He told Lavan, if not for the God of Avraham and the God of Yitzchak, I wouldn't make it. So he himself said, he has his own schus, right, but he felt that he needed the schus of Avraham and Yitzchak also. Now, therefore, how did he do it? So by saying these 15 Shiramaylas, which represent, as the Chidor says, the years of the Ovis together, so he wanted to have that schus. That's why he said the Tesvav. That's the answer to the question why he said, what's the connection between these Tesvav? But now the Rebbe is going to explain, why do you need to have the schus of all of them together? See, the whole point here is that this is the time that they were all together. So he says that Tam Favos hat gedarft onkommen zum schus von alle Ovis. Why did they need the schus of the Ovis, of all three Ovis, and all together, in order to overcome the hardships by Lavan? But me verstehen von der Eitze, was bringt sich, will understand is, by a certain advice, which is brought down in the Maimer of the Tzemach Tzedek, wie zu man erzählt seine Melchemes ha-Yetze Bechlau. How to fight, how to win the war against the Yetze Hara. Das ist Eitze. Was man hat abgelernt von der Melchome Kipshute, that the Chachomim, the Talmid HaMagid, the Alter Rebbe learned from a war, a physical war, that took place in the time of the Alter Rebbe. And they learned, they saw a certain strategy that they did, and they said, oh, that's an interesting strategy, we should use it in our war with the Yetzer Hara. What happened? The Seder from Arochas HaMelchama B'chal is the way, the order of the fighting a war those years was like this, as Mechalkin Kol Echad HaChayil Shelagim HaChalokim. Each would divide their army in three parts. Chelik Echad Be'emtza, one part in the middle, Ushtei Yodis Miyimin Mismail, then two parts, one on the right, one on the left. The other side, the enemy also does the same thing. And these fight with these. So you have these three parts fighting these three parts. When the Atzloch in the Melchama was given in Yenet Zeit, there was one war that they saw that one side won. Why? Is gekommen durch dem was mit weggestellt Gimel Machne Shelei and Kegen ein Machne von Hussein. They did a new strategy. They said, you know what? Let's take all three parts of our war, of our army, and fight one of the three. Now, if you have 3 against 1, you win. So if you have all 3 together fighting one, so you're going to win one area for sure, and then you go to the next area. But the main thing is that you take all 3 of your keiches, of your army, fighting one of the other side. From that they learned how to fight your spiritual war, which is the Melchama, the war against the Yetzer Hara. In order to win against the Yetzer Hara, we know there are different midas, different emotions, attributes that a person has. There are basically 10, 3 intellect, and then you have 7 emotions. Now, of the 7 emotions, the main ones are 3. The first 3, Chesed, Gvura, Tiferes. Then you also have Netzach, Hod, Yesod, Malchus. They're offsprings, they're branches of the first 3. So the main 3 midas are these 3. Now, the way it's possible to fight, I'm saying it by heart before we get inside. You fight let's say you have the Yetzer Hara, and your Yetzer Hara is strong in the midah of ahava, of love. You have a midah of love, or midah of chesed, in the wrong way, in the not good things. So what would you imagine? You got to fight it with ahava of kedusha. Take your ahava and change it over, and start loving things of holy things, and start doing chesed of holy things. He says that's one way. What they decided here is to fight even one midah of the Yetzer Hara, take all 3 midas of Kedusha and fight it, then you'll win. So take the midah of Ava, of love, of Kedusha, the midah of Yira, of fear, and the midah of Tiferes, which is Rachamim, and you'll use that all to fight. That's what he says. That in order to fight them, you me'era zayin, kol midas the Kedusha, all the midas, Ava and Yira, Rachamim, lo'umas, midah achas the klippe, against one midah of klippe, for sure you'll win, you'll knock him down, now you'll win. Because you'll use all 3. Like this, if you fight against Ava of Klippa, the evil love, with only love, you're still left with other things. And you're not sure you're going to win. Which knows, but if you jump from all sides, then you're going to win. So if you use all 3 midas, which are the 3 midas? Ava, Chesed, Yira, which is Gvura, and Rachamim. So let me just explain in simple terms. This is more Kabbalistic, and it's going to get a little bit more. But this. Yeah, then you'll win until he realizes that you'll win. You'll win this and you'll win this. It makes it easier. That's what they saw by the word. But what's the pshat? What's the pshat of the 3 midas? You have the midah of Ahava, loving Hashem. That's one midah you have. You have a midah of Yira, having fear of Hashem. What's the midah of Rachamim? Midah of Rachamim it's a combination. It's called Tiferes, but it's a combination of Chesed and Gvura. Chesed, which is kindness. If a person has only Midas HaChesed, what's going to happen? Midas HaChesed, you'll be kind to everybody. Sometimes you shouldn't be kind. Certain things, it's wrong to be kind. But if Chesed is Chesed, if you're going to have Midas of Gvura, strength, and the opposite, you'll be cruel to everybody. In other words, you will give, if you have to somebody who deserves. Somebody who doesn't deserve, you won't give him. If you only go with chesed, you'll give even to someone who doesn't deserve. Rachamim means like this: you have pity on the person. That means it's a mixture of both. You know he doesn't deserve. For midas chesed, you don't even look. You don't know if he deserves or not. You give. Gvura says if you don't deserve, you don't get. So rachamim is pity. You realize that he doesn't deserve. That's the gvura, and nevertheless you give him because you have pity on him. So that's combination. So here he says you got to use all the midas in fighting the Yetzer Hara. Now the midah of serving Hashem, the midah of Ava, Chesed, serving Hashem, is loving Hashem. The midah of Gvura, fear of Hashem, is fear of Hashem. What's the midah of rachamim in Avodas Hashem? So it says it's the midah of feeling pity on your neshama. Ava is Avos Hashem, Yiras Hashem. Then one of the things you have to do is you have to feel a pity on my neshama. Look at my neshama. Look at the situation it is. It's in Golas. And if you have pity, that's a way of bringing you back to serve Hashem. So he says you got to evoke all three midas against, if you have even one bad midah. So you think, okay, midah of Ava is bad, I'll use Ava against it. No, you got to use all three. Und der Fahrt davon haben die Tesla of Shiramayles. That's what we need, the 15 Shiramayles. V'chazayin keneged Tesla of Shonim Shechoy Yovis B'yachad, which represent the 15 years when they were all together. Because we're looking here to have all three at the same time. To pass the union of Golas. The Gimel Ovis, and he explains, the three Ovis, I know the Gimel Midas the Kedusha. The three Ovis are parallel, they represent the three Midas, the three emotions of Kedusha. Ave, which is Avraham, Yire, which is Yitzchak, and Rachamim, which is Yaakov. When you have all the three of us together, das heißt, it means, you gather all three of your holy emotions together, then you have the power of overcoming all the situations of Golas and to nullify the Golas. And that's the explanation why he said, in order to overcome the Golas of Lavan, he said these 15 kapitlach, which represent the three of us together, because that he evoked the midah of Ave and Yire. And Rachamim, which means he evoked all midas at the same time. That's what gave him the power. That's what the answer of the Medrash. What did he say? What did he do to overcome these 15 kapitlach?
He had accomplished this by just davening Shmona Esther, which also is mentioned in the Sichas.
Yeah, but this has to be a specific thought for this. Shmona Esther is very general. Yeah, but, you ask, but then besides the normal things, he had to do something extra. And this was the extra. Now the Rebbe says he adds to this. We could add, according to Chassidus, there's a remez, v'hadiuk, in the mispar tesvav shiramaylis. Und tesvav shonim shechoyos b'yachad. We understand the general idea, but there's another point here that we have to add, the Rebbe says. So far, it could have been any number. If they would have lived together 12 years, it would have been the same thing. Here it happens to be 15. So since in Torah everything is exact, then there must be something specifically connected to this inyan in the number 15. What's the number 15? Now, Mispar Tesvo weist of the Eshtet Zwei Eisies Mishem Avaya. Number 15 represents the first three letters of Hashem's name, Yud Kei, Shem Avaya. Because Yud Kei is the Gematria Tesvov. Yud is 10, Hey is 5, it's 15. What's the chilek zwischen Yud Kei and Vav Kei? What's the difference between the first half of Hashem's name and the second half? So just a little bit to explain. In Chassidus and Kabbalah we learn that the Shem Yud Kei Vav Kei represents all 10 spheres, all 10 midas of Hashem. The Yud is Chochmah, the Hey is Bina, the Vav is the 6 midas, Chesed Gvura Tiferet Netzach Yisayt, and the other Hey is Malchus. Das is not mentioned, so it says why? Because Das really is not a midah in itself. So Yud represents Chochmah and Hey Bina. Why Yud Chochmah and Hey Bina? Because if we learn Chassidus, we know that the difference between Chochmah and Bina is Chochmah is the nekudah. When you learn something, and you have all kinds of kashas you don't understand. And then you start thinking, the first thing you'll get is we call it a borak amavrik, a lightning, a nekudah, a point of an idea. Wow, I see, I have an idea. You still don't know how it answers the questions, how it'll explain, but it's an idea. Then you sit down, you develop that idea. So the Chochmah is the nekudah, Bina is the development of the idea. Yud is a dat, so Yud is Chochmah. It's a nekudah, it's a dat. Hey, how do you write a hey? You start off with a Yud. You put on your pen, you make a dat, and you start moving up and down. So hey represents the hispashtas, the development of the seichel. So Yud and hey represents the meichen, the intellect. The Vav, that already represents the midas of the person. So Yud is a meichen. So it has a difference between the Yud Kei and Vav Kei is, at the ACS, Vav Kei is eine Pchidas midas. They represent the midas, and Malchus, which is part of the midas. So the Vav, why is Vav the 6 midas? Because Vav is 6. Besides that, the Vav is a line. A line shows an Hamshocha. Hamshocha means a line means you make a straight line, you bring it from up down. So your Mamshech from the Seichel to the midas, that's above, and the hey is malchus for whatever reason. And the ace is Yudke is ein B'chinas Meichen. Yudke is the intellect. Yud is Chochma and the He is Bina. And das ist der Linie von the Tesvav Shonim Shochoyu HaOvis B'yachad. That's the idea that the 15 years that the Ovis live together, which we said before means that you have all three midas together. Now, how is it possible to have all three midas together? It's impossible. If you have Chesed, Chesed is opposite of Gvura. Chesed can't be good Gvura. If you have pure Chesed, it contradicts Gvura. Gvura contradicts Chesed. That's why in Kabbalah, in Elam HaTorah, whatever, the Shviras HaKelim, the midas fight. You can't. If a person would have full Chesed and work only with the emotion of Chesed, he'll never be able to have Gvura. He'll have Ava, you won't be able to have Yira. If you have Yira, you won't be able to have Ava. When can you have a mixture? Like we say in the Sichas, we have Chesed Sheba Chesed, we have Chesed, Gvura Sheba Chesed, Tiferet Sheba Chesed. How do you have a mixture in Chesed Gvura? It's only because of your intellect, because of your brain. Everyone knows, if you think about it, imagine if you'd run a country only with Chesed. Everybody's fine. You'll never arrest anybody, no criminals in jail. You gotta be Chesed, you gotta do kind. You'll destroy the whole world. Imagine you go only with Gvura, you can't work. But what makes you realize that you should have a combination of Chesed and Gvura? The intellect. So in order to have all the midas together, which are opposites, you have to have the intellect. That's what here, in order for Yaakov Avinu to evoke Chesed and Gvura and Tiferes together, Ava, Yira, and Rachmim together, it only came because of the Meichen. That's why where is hinted this idea that all three of us live together in the 15. 15 is Yudke in the Meichen. That's what he says. Kedei as alle midas sollen kennen sein zusammen du bist galus, in order for all the midas to be revealed and together. Choyu Ovis b'yachad, we say the Ovis live together. Darf in the midas meir sein der Eir HaMeichen. In the midas you have to feel the light of the intellect. Because if your intellect would be moved away completely and you have only emotions, it won't work. You have to have the Yudke. And here he gives one line, three lines of explanation from in a different angle. For Mayes as Meichen, seinen Hecher von Eifnai Schalkes für Midas, der Rebbe peilen sie die Skalos Midas. Because intellect is not limited, so intellect could cause that the Midas which are limited to become unlimited. Now, it's what that means just in short. The word midah, we're talking about the midas. What is the real, literal translation of the word midah? Measurement. It's a measure. A measure means a limit. You say this measures a foot. That means it starts here and finishes there, and it doesn't go further. It's limited. That's why midas contradict each other. Because chesed is limited to chesed. Gvura is limited to gvura. Ava is limited to ava. Yira. So together they can be, each one has its limits. When can they be together? When they're beyond the limitations. Seichel is beyond limitations. Seichel, the real intellect, is beyond limitations. In other words, the Seichel, midas, whatever it is, Seichel could turn either way. You could have the same svara, the same idea, and to have two opposite results. It's not limited to anything. The best proof that they bring is, if you look in Chumash, what logic did Hashem say why he wants to bring a Mabul? So it says, because of Yetzer Leib Raminurav, he says, people are so evil. From beginning on, from birth, they're evil. Gotta get rid of them. Then when Hashem swore never to bring a Mabul again, what did he say? Same reason. Because Yetzer Leib Raminurav. Because people are bad from the beginning, so really it's not their fault. I mean, they're born that way, so what do you want from them? The same logic came, why? Because Seichel, pure abstract Seichel. The Seichel is not abstract, then it's always to one side. But when it's abstract, the Seichel could go either way, so it's not limited. So in order to bring a infinity, an unlimited idea into the midas, which are limited, you have to have the Seichel, which is unlimited. That's why you had the 15 here, you had the Tesvav, which represents the Yudke. Das is aber lechura nit maspik. It's still not enough to explain everything. So we understand why he said these 15 and what the number 15 is and how that kept in because of midas. But one thing we still need to know. What is the problem here? The Tesvav shiramayla shebesefer tilim v'nongeruf m'shem shir. They're called a song. For shir is verbunden an yishal simcha. A song is a time of joy. How could he say shiramaylas? How could he sing? Which means to be happy, when he was in Golas. Now we say here, he got the strength, the power to overcome it, but it still doesn't mean that you should be happy. That's Ezri gamer. Taki, in these chapters of Tilim, it speaks about Hashem helping you. The ability of overcoming the golas. But wie kann man stehen in a simcha gluya, where you can be happy about it? Was demult is masem to sorgen shira. You could only say shira when you're happy. Al derech maimer azal, the Chazal tell us, einem shira ela layayin. You only say shira over wine. Why? Because wine makes you happy. Then we gefindt sich bechoron charein af shel mokim beis shlomen. He's in choron. The word choron itself, Rashi says, means charein, anger. It's a place where Hashem was angry, in the house of Lavan. What was he so happy about? It's like saying, well, after all, he got the power to overcome. Wouldn't it be better if you don't have any problems to overcome? What to be happy about it? You could say he shouldn't be Miyah shouldn't give up hope because he has the power. What to be happy about? It reminds me of somebody. This lady said to this other lady, her husband was a rich person, but he was a very tough person. She said, my husband, Pashat, makes me sick, and then he takes me to the best doctors. He has the money to take me to the best doctors, which means very good. You should be happy that he takes the best doctors. But wouldn't it be better if you wouldn't get sick? So what's the mila here? Why is he happy? You're jumping with joy that he's in Golas, and I have the power to overcome the Golas. It's like Rashi says, you say to a bee, lei medufzach, lei meuksach, lei medufshach. If a bee stings you, if you take the honey from the bee, you squeeze it on and it cures it. It says, don't sting me and don't cure me. Don't give me your honey and we don't need it. Why was he happy? They're here, and then the answer is, so we understood everything else, but the sheer part we don't understand. So the answer is, the Yerida from Yankov Avinu Bais Lavan, when Yankov came down to the house of Lavan, he's given Bishvilo Aliyah. By being there and overcoming all the hardships, it elevated him to a higher level than he was before. It wasn't just that he could have gotten hurt and he didn't. It brought him up to a higher level. As Ozayin Vayifra Seish made, it says in Pasuk that he grew, he spread out very much, beyond boundaries. It only happened over there. Since he saw what is the goal, the purpose of it going down to Golas, the aliyah, the elevation that will come out, that's why Timothy was even a shir, because he saw what's going to be tzalderech, like the Gemara says at the end of Makis, when the Rebbe Akiva walked with the Chachamim, came to the place of the Beis Hamikdash, they saw a fox going out of the Kedesh HaKadoshim, so they started crying, he started smiling. So they said to him, why are you laughing? Well, why are you so happy? So he said, why are you crying? Why we're crying? Whatever, all the details. So he said, that's why I'm smiling. And he explained, the Gemara doesn't say these words, but that's the deeper meaning of the Gemara. He said, I see that now that there's a churban, after the churban, there will be the bigger Beis Hamikdash. And he saw it already then. So that's why he was smiling there. So Yaakov Avinu saw it already. Huh? Yeah, I'm not saying I'm not going through all the details there of the Gemara, but he said, but this showed me that this is going to happen. Same thing, the Friedrich is in jail, he had such a great elevation, Baruchni. So someone asked him, would you like to go back? So he said, I wouldn't sell 1 minute of what I gained being in jail, 1 minute of it for $1 million. But I wouldn't go back for 1 minute for $1 million. Because Rebbe's going to explain this soon. Huh?
He had simcha, and he had enough simcha from yayin. He was not in the yayin shel Torah, which is
yayin shel Torah.
Yayin shel Torah.
Okay.
When you see shira in a happy situation, every year reader is a tzurech aliyah.
So every year they say shira. If you see it, yeah.
Sorry?
Every year reader, if you see the aliyah, that you should be happy, yeah.
You could say the shira. It says the only shira because it's a simcha.
Yeah, because then you're besimcha. Yeah.
So if you see the
then you could be besimcha. You should be besimcha. Yeah. Jeder Inyan kommt zu, wo ich sage, Bad Goshe, is a Yascholas HaRosh. Anything that we have in the beginning of everything, you see what is going to be the rest of it. So in this Inyan, the Aliyah was kommt of the Yerid in Golas, this Aliyah that you will get, the elevation you will get by descending into Golas, is mutgish in the Meshten for the test of Shira Mailas. We see it in the first kapitel, the first chapter of the Shira Mailas. What is it? The Siyam v'chaysim for the Meshten Shira Mailas was hakal achitum. Another thing, besides the beginning, is the end. So look at the end of the first chapter. It says there like this: Ani shalom v'chiyada b'nheim el milchama. I'm looking for peace, but when they speak, they're looking for war. So he says like this. V'smeint, it means like this: As chod shafilo as ervil shalom. He's saying, even though I want peace, von deswegen heim boim lochem bi. They're coming to fight me. But which fight are we talking about? Which milchama are we talking about? There is a war that you have when you fight a war, but then there is the general war. There is an ongoing war here in the world. The ongoing war is The Yetzer Hara, the Klippos, the evil forces. What's an evil force? The Helam V'Hestan and Elokus, the concealment of godliness. That's the fight that's fighting us. That's that's our enemy. The fact that we don't see the truth, we don't see godliness. So he says, "Was the Menachem Ruchnis is the Helam V'Hestan from Golos." What's the spiritual war? The concealment of Hashem in Golos. Ubeproti is Rinya Anisyenis. Worse even, more in detail, the tests, the hardships that we have. They hold us back from serving Hashem. And they're coming to fight against us serving Hashem. Is in them was sagt Shira Meiles of Hemel HaMelchama. And so therefore saying this Shira Meiles, where it says, I'm looking for peace, but they're fighting me. That tells us what great level you reach if you fight the war and win the war. What's the pshat? Habir, but the pshat is like this. A Yid is not allowed to put himself into a situation of a nisoyan. On the contrary, you have to ask Eibishter every day, don't bring me to a nisoyan. It's like someone saying, you're not allowed to. Someone will say, if I want to show the greatness of fighting the Yetzer Hara, I'm going to go bedafke to a movie house and I'll sit there and close my eyes and not watch. Don't put yourself in that situation. That's why he says like this. I'm looking for peace. I'm not looking for war. I'm not putting myself in a situation of fighting the Yetzer Hara. I'm looking for a peaceful way. But he's not interested in wars and nisyanis. But still, but because there is a gain that you might gain through having a war and having the test and winning it, so the Eibishter makes that sometimes you should have this war. The Yetzer Hara should come fight you. You should have these nisyanis. That Heimo, they, who's they? Loshen Rabim. The word Heimo, they is Loshen Rabim. What's plural? Elam Haza Agashmi, Shenikra Rishus Harabim. The Alter Rebbe says in Tanya that the Elam Haza, this world is called the Rishus Harabim, the public domain, because the Eibishter is Yochid, single, and this is so Heima the Klippe. So Zaina Zaina was Kumet Lechem Zayin Stern Tzavayis Hashem. So the Eibishter sometimes puts that they should fight you.
Not just in Miami Beach.
And of them Zok the Shir HaMailes, and on that he says a song. He's singing a song. Not only these tests don't stop him from serving Hashem, they don't weaken his avodas Hashem. The contrary, these tests bring out a stronger energy in the person. And that brings him that he should be singing, should be happy. We see it from the first chapter. Everything in Torah is an eternal lesson. Is a full movement. That whatever we said before is a lesson for the whole time of Golus, especially in a lesson in our time, which we live in the hardships of Golus, the generation that's by the heels of Mashiach. And what's the lesson? We start thinking about the depth, the darkness, and the deep darkness, double darkness that we're finding ourselves in Ikas and Mashiach. And it's, you see now things which are going on in the world, all kinds of crazy, in spiritual sense, crazy things that are going on. You come to a point that looks so bad that the Pasuk says, where will my help come? You don't see a way out of this Golus. It's getting darker and darker with all the nonsense that's going on in the world. So you could give up hope. You could say, okay, I give up. So we take the lesson from above. Since the descent into the Golus, just like Yankov went to Chorin to Golus, so our going to Golus is the same. That's what the Eir HaChaim HaKadosh says. He says that Yaakov's going to Golus was similar to our Golus. We're here. Don't give up hope. You're going to get even better than it would have been without Golus. In order we should see how the light that comes after darkness is even greater. The chokhmah, the wisdom that comes after stupidity, which is even greater. It says, it says, where will it come? You have to first of all pick up your eyes. You got to look. Where do you got to pick up your eyes means to look. Don't look at the Golus as it is. Look a little bit deeper. Look at the bigger picture. Look at what the goal of the Golus is. That's why it says, pick up your eyes. Pick up your eyes. Not just look. Look, you'll see what you see. When you say pick up your eyes, like it says, look on top, See far. See what's going to happen. The aliyah was v'zayin begula asida. The aliyah that will happen when Mashiach will come. Und demult is nicht nur was mevetten this spol from the Cheshach HaGolas. Not only you don't get influence, you don't care about the darkness of Golas. Then you're happy, completely happy. Shir Hamaylis. You sing it, and it's in a shir. Now the Rebbe Bavorin says something here. Chas v'sholem zu sagen, man darf sein zufrieden von der Maim und der Matzah von Golas. He says, Chas v'sholem, I don't mean to say that Mele, you look at this, the Rebbe just said, okay, be happy. Be happy that you're in Golas, you be happy. Und trachten, dass der Maim und der Matzah Masim verrieden, Chas v'sholem. This is good for Yidden. We just explained how good it is. Chas v'sholem. Golas is ein Inyan von Cheshach und Sichas. Golas is darkness and stupidity, v'chulu, etc. When I eat the Golas, when I eat is in Golas, Zok Teiras Emes, the Teira says, Klor und Deitlich, very obvious, very clear, as there is a ben shegola me'al shulchan aviv hamelech. The Gemara says that the Yidden in Golas are similar to a son who was chased away from his father's stable. Know how bad that is. That's how we have to feel in Golas. Leib der ben fühlt anders, sagt anders, if there's a son who doesn't feel that way. He doesn't feel how bad it is. He's verstandig die spezielle Finsternis und Niedrigkeit von seinem Golas. So you understand how low he is. It doesn't even feel that it's bad. So you can't say that you have to feel good in Golas. You have to feel very bad. You have to see not the Golas itself. What's the purpose of the Golas? That you should get. The purpose is, that's a good thing. The purpose is to get even higher than before. Higher, because light that comes after darkness or chokhmah after stupidity is even greater. So you have to look. So you have to have both feelings at the same time. That's what the Rebbe is saying. You have to feel bad about the Golas, and you have to constantly say, we want to get out of this Golas, but at the same time, you have to feel that there is a gain in Golas, and therefore Hashem made it that we will gain. And through feeling this way, and we pick up our eyes and we see what the Golas is going to lead you to, when feel the mental, you get revealed, and you feel the answer of the Shaila Ma'i Yovi Ezra, this question, where the answer, where my help will come, in the Shaila Gufa, like in Pirish Apnimi. You see the answer in the question. According to the deeper pshat, simple pshat, may I and Yovi Ezri means, it's a question. From where will my help come? Chassidus says this is part of the answer. That your answer will come, may I in Yo, say it not in the question, that the level called ayin, there's a spiritual level called ayin, that's where my help will come. This is a level, such a high level, we can't grasp it. Sie is hecher for seichel v'avon, it's beyond understanding. It's a hecher for shem, it's beyond names. It's not the name of Hashem, you have all these names, it's a very high level. So from there we get the help. It comes from a very high level, but it comes down. And it comes down through the whole Seder Ishtalshlis of the way things come down to Hashpah from above, and it's revealed, on is pale dort, and in, down here, affects, and it has the Hashpah, and it helps that the Ezrim Hashem Eis Shemayim V'Oretz. The help comes from Hashem who made the heaven and earth. Biz in Shemayim V'Oretz Kipshut until that comes down in the physical world, heaven and earth in the physical world, you get that high level. But it all comes if Esa Einai Alahorim, you pick up your eyes and you look and you see the future, so you know what it is, and that's what Yaakov Avinu did by saying the 15 Shiramaylis.